Hey there, everybody! Seth here with the very first showcase and release of a non-blazblue mod. Amazing, I know, but indeed, we're here with the man himself. My boss mode avatar Belial mod is, after many months of on and off work, I think he's ready to go. I will say he does have probably at least one or two bugs still, like the wind animation one. I haven't changed him at all since you last saw him when I fought him in my, last Granblue Fantasy Versus video, but, he's here now, and I figure, I'm not sure when I'm gonna actually get back into modding this game. It's probably gonna be a while with Persona out and stuff now at this rate, but I will get back and mod more characters for the game eventually. But for now, we have Super Boss Avatar Belial in his prime, ready to go, ready to fuck shit up. He's pretty nutty. I went all out for him, as much as I can possibly do with the knowledge I have for this game right now. Anything else I gotta say? I mean, not really. I will say that the recording is gonna be annoying because whenever I click off the game, it mutes the audio, so I'm gonna have to, like, splice clips together, but, yeah. Download link for Avatar is below in the description. The rest of this video is gonna be me showing off, exactly what he can do. To those of you who maybe don't have a PC Granblue, and anyone that's, like, is curious to see what I can just pull off with him, give you some ideas for yourself. In any case, we're looking at a really long set intro, so might as well jump into things now. I'm reverting back to my old ways. Just do a check here, okay. Yeah, okay, 3 minute fucking intro, that's definitely enough. Okay, so first things first, I of course gave Avatar Belial way more fucking health, and by way more fucking health, I mean way more health. To give you an idea of how much health he has, I believe the highest health a normal character can have in this game is 11,000. That's reserved for, like, Ladiva and Basaraga. The Beelzebub that you fight at the end of arcade mode has 15,000 HP. Super Boss Avatar Belial has 25,000 HP. That's right, nearly twice as much as Boss Beelzebub. He can take a beating and a half. And as if that isn't frightening enough, he also, in case you don't know by now, passively regenerates his Skybound Art gauge over time. And more so than usual when he's running forward, obviously. Because running forward gets a meter already, but he gets it on top of his passive regen now, giving him unparalleled access to his Skybound Arts. More on them later. In addition, of course, to his higher health and higher meter gain rate, he also walks 50% faster. His dash speed is doubled, so he can really cruise across the screen here more than anyone else can. His jump startup is halved, so he can go airborne faster, and he's less vulnerable while doing so, with the being unable to block during jump startup and all. And on top of being half jump startup, he also has a double jump. Indeed, those are a thing that you can give people in this game. Use it for, tricky anti-air baits. Although you can't super jump and then double jump at the same time. If you get a double jump or you get your super jump. Plenty of fun things you can do with that, although you can't jump cancel any of your normals, unfortunately. So this is basically just for anti-air baits. And, air mobility of sorts. Throws have 50% more iron attackable time, so you get more advantage off of them. And they're also able to be special canceled or super canceled, although the only thing you really get off of forward throw, you can get claws and a bunch of other stuff, but for back throw, you can't really get anything off back throw. Rocks apparently don't work. Yeah, rocks don't work for some reason. Claw whiffs completely. You can, however, if you back throw them into the corner, you can get stuff off like DP and stuff, but other than that, basically more or less just forward throw into claws or super, anything like that. All of his normals have their combo scaling dropped by 1, which means they contribute less to the combo limit, which allows you to do crazier stuff with them all now before the combo limit kicks in, just drops them out of your strings. Which opens up this obviously means he gets a lot of new potential, just from that alone. Which you'll probably see later on when I show you just about the familiar routes I have experimented with him. God, hope this video isn't end up too long. Alright, on to what I did specifically to each move, though. Every hit of his auto combo and his 5L here, all of these have their attack level raised by 1, which gives them a little more priority. They don't get any extra damage, given how auto combo normals work, but they do get more priority. So they'll be helpful for beating out certain attacks and getting a little more hit stun on top of that, which partially lets you do that, I imagine. Close H has a very slightly lower recovery. Just ever so slightly on whiff and on hit, so... Far H is attack level 5 and has more untechable time compared to most other attack level 5 attacks. Mainly in the air for, well, not that, but for basically that, but with Far S instead. Far H instead. His old Far H as regular Belial is actually usable now as its own command normal as 4H. And this is usable at any range, including point blank, because it is a command normal and not a proximity normal. And 4H here can actually be special cancelled on either hit now, not just the first. Or can go into 5H, 5U, which doesn't combo, or 2U. And on top of all these, I have undid the nerf they gave to regular Belial's version of this attack, where you can't get a combo off second encounter anymore. Well, you can now. Just like you used to be able to. Well, if you can space it properly. For his low normals, there's only 2 changes. For one thing, his 2L, this is now a low. And for 2H, the combo scaling was lowered by an additional level from the looks of it, so... This is obviously like prime juggle material, and I wanted to emphasize that by dropping down its scaling and combos to basically minimal. In addition, his 2H also has 50% more air and technical time to help with those said juggles, and very slightly faster to help you with anti-air reactions. For his unique action, 5U, the beam has slightly faster startup, untech, and launches airborne on, launches up on airborne targets. The prime example for this would be... like so, as you can see. And you can actually get... I think in the corner. Yeah, you can get a 5L link in the corner off a 5U here. If you're quick enough. Overall, this has been made a lot deadlier and actually usable in combos now as well because of the enhanced untack and startup. Allowing you to auto combo into 5U into 2U on top of that. If you charge this beast, however, you get even more benefits. For the attack level is raised from 3 to 5, it launches off the ground and even higher. Like so. Launch has even more untech and less combo scaling, and this is also unblockable when full charge, so you have to, you gotta sidestep it, or you gotta dodge into it. Two-U is noticeably faster and has a higher launch like his RPG boss version, which is what allows you to do stuff like that. Nothing crazy like OTG relaunches otherwise, so basically after you do your sweep here, you kind of have to go into claws. Although rocks might work. Rocks do work, but it's not the best. EX rocks are way better, but still not super great. Or just DP them. That works too. In addition, this new faster sweep is now cancelable into any other normal Belial has, like just like 5U is, so... like you can do that, you can now do this as well. Basically, anything that can go into laser can go into sweep now as well. On to his aerial normals. all of his air normals are actually capable of canceling into stronger air normals, which means, what's the best way to show this off? That's not it, Chief. I think it's better to show this in the corner or something, maybe? Hold on. There we go! Perfect. Yeah, you can just go into every other stronger air normal over time, which means, yeah, that JLMHU string is indeed possible, and yes, it is as cool and flashy as it looks. It is a little picky, though. Specifically, JL and JM hit stun has been raised by 6 frames, making for easier landing confirms, like so, or those cheeky JM cross-ups easier to convert off of. JH's attack level has been raised from 3 to 4, and has its hit stun raised by 9 frames instead of 6. JU, his diving kick here, is a lot faster, and this is also an overhead now, so you have to block it high. Will force crouch on grounded hit as well, although you don't really get anything off of it, just gives you more advantage because of the increased hit stun. So maybe you can do it like really low range, might be able to get something. Yeah, no, not really. On air hit, however, JU here will actually do a ground bounce, and if you're close enough to the corner when you do this, I believe you can actually get a pickup off of it. Almost. There's some way you can do something off that, I'm pretty sure. At least if my memory serves me correctly. JU here can be cancelable into from any air normal, like so. Shit. And on hit, you can actually go into his aerial skybound dart, although it's a little finicky to actually come out here. I need more meter too. Let's actually show off the regen. We can just bump this back up to 100. Okay. You do have to be very quick with inputting the command. There we go. JU is cancelable into Diaphora there for additional devastation, which means the full air string should look something like this. Which means the full air string should look something like that. God, this really does feel about as awkward as when I was uploading fucking showcase videos from BlazBlue way back like a couple of years ago. In any case, to round out our normal changes, we actually have changes to his teleport follow-ups that you may be familiar with, or his hacked attacks. More specifically, 5U and 8U have new changes to them as well. For one thing, his follow-ups now cost no HP to use, as you probably noticed. These are now doable for free, and you can spam them with Reckless Abandon and for extra damage. Both 5U and 8U are now also super cancelable on hit, which means stupid shit like this is possible.
Someone needs to be punished.
Among other things. Shit.
Someone needs to be
No way that works, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. I think maybe if you wait for him to actually land.
Someone needs to be punished.
Okay, that works too. Okay, yeah, that works too, I guess. Unfortunately, they are no longer usable after his shot-based attacks, or... What the fuck was this called? They actually gave all these... I'm not used to these having names. Rejected Truth. I've been using him since before he became an official playable character, so for all of his attacks to have, like, official names now is weird to me. So his projectiles cannot be canceled on these anymore, and for reasons... That's basically, like, game jank that I can't get around. The game did not want to cooperate with my backporting his projectile cancels back onto his old rocks that I'm using. And I would rather have projectiles work like his old boss version because they're way better than give him the follow-up option at the moment. So, for now, no teleport follow-ups off of his projectiles. They do work off of everything else, which, well, we'll go over that later. More specifically to both of them, however, the 5U follow-up has more untechnical time, and the launch is always the counter hit version, which gets you a juggle with far H like that, just mid-screen. Or in the corner, you can probably do more than that. That's disgusting, I hit combo limit, but still. 8U is an overhead follow-up, so this is mainly on block. And has a small ground bounce, which also gives you an neat little juggle on hit. And now for something else I changed. For his universal overhead, indeed, the overhead attack here, I have given this more hit stun, which allows non-counter hit conversions off of it. Albeit at some rather scaled damage, I'm pretty sure you can't get, like, but you can't actually get, M off of it. You get H off of it? You can get H off of it. Okay, yeah, just do fucking overhead attack and then close H for mad money. Oh, please tell me that works. Oh, hell yeah! Beautiful. Now, you guys have probably noticed by now that his, skill cooldowns are really obnoxiously fast. And, you might be thinking that's because of the training mode, but, no, it's not. You see, I have his cooldown set to normal. And that is because, if you thought his cooldowns before were fast, I have reduced the cooldown on all specials by half, including the H versions, which were already reduced compared to most other characters. I took his new H cooldowns and cut them in half too, which means he gets unparalleled access to all of his specials. Not quite as much as arcade boss Beelzebub, who has no cooldowns at all, but let's be real here, guys. If this didn't have any cooldown whatsoever, yeah, and this, yeah, no, there needs to be at least a little restraint there. In addition, like his old boss variant, the H specials, like his teleport pack follow-ups, do not need HP to use either, so you can use these with Reckless Abandon as well. Although I did backport the nice little red glow that he gets when he uses his EX skills now. Alright. I'm not sure how far in we are, but now we can get onto his specials, and I've changed pretty much each and every one of them. For starters, his... I can't believe I forgot about it already. Rejected Truth. These now do full damage on all hits, which means the damage is not reduced after the first, which means L rocks do 2,500 raw. Yes, Brand did just indeed lose a quarter of his health, essentially, because he got hit by raw rocks. And it gets worse from there. For starters, L rocks go nearly twice as far now. They hit 5 times, like EX rocks. And this is now also a low. And this also has much faster recovery from his boss version, instead of his much slower one that he has as a regular character, although it's still not really much to give you anything off of it, per se. Although you do get an L link in the corner there, but it is safer to whip, essentially. 2 through 6 M projectiles will all deal 500 damage, and they might fly a little faster, too. The recovery is also greatly reduced to allow you to kind of approach at them, sort of like Beelzebub can with his black flies. Can't really get a combo off them, although if you do it point blank, you get a massive chunk of 2,500 damage similar to Rock's pushback. 2 through 6 H rocks also hit low with drastically reduced recovery, which lets you do dumb shit like that. Damn, messed up, but yeah, you get where that was going. And we'll note that the lower recovery on all of his Broken Truth specials here means less of a window to cancel into his well, the follow-ups here, which they work, but they don't, so it's kind of irrelevant. Next up on the agenda to talk about is his infamous fucking Claw Rekkas. These babies right here. These fucking things have been reverted to their old boss versions, which means the old, the free juggle you get off of them is, back in action as well, making these even worse, especially when you can just, oh my god. Oh! These are so broken in terms of how this, in terms of, like, this game. This is just, like, complete overkill, but these are so fun to use. The first hit slams airborne targets down and keeps standing ones in stagger. The second hit will knock upward into a float state for easy, very simple juggles and that deal lots of insane damage. We'll see the air untech is also way higher than compared to how it normally is. And any aspects that are superior in the 2.70 DLC version of Avatar Belial have been applied to these boss versions of the move as well, like the B version having quicker startups than the old boss version. The follow-ups will now use additional full 2-on-4 motions instead of holding back and then mashing the button because, yeah, I don't know, that's just how these remained. It felt like it would have been a lot of work to, mess with that at all. It's weird jumbled internal coding crap that I probably will maybe don't feel like talking about right now. It's a little unfitting, but point is, it was a lot easier to leave them this way than to try and like make them as the hold back thing. It's not too big of a deal anyways. I find this actually work a lot more consistently with the extra 2-on-4 motions than having to hold back and press the button, honestly. And additionally, you'll probably notice by now these are also, instead of being cancelable on hit and block, you can also whip cancel into the other call-ups as well. In addition, the M and H versions are overheads. Pretty fast fucking overhead, isn't it? The final attack of the Rekka Chain has increased damage. L version does 800, M version does 1,000, and H version does 1,200. And doesn't launch as far away, as well as being super cancelable, because of course they are.
Someone needs to be punished.
Lastly, and this is extremely disgusting, taken from the RPG mode boss version, the M and H versions of the Rekka finisher. Let's see here. There we go. Are unblockable. And by RPG boss version, I mean literally him in RPG mode, not his old unfinished version that I've shown on the channel before. Because, yeah, the Rekka Chain in RPG mode is just unblockable. So is this one. Have fun. Next up is his DP motions. All hits of his 623X specials are air unblockable, which includes these ones. And they can all be followed up with his teleport follow-ups now. So, although he lost the ability to cancel into packed specials from his projectiles, he can now do it off of his fucking mirrorless reversal. Albeit it's a little finicky. Oh, that was disgusting. Specifically, the L version launches the enemy higher and not as far, has a bit more air attackable time, and hits twice instead of once. That's something carried over from his old unused version. The M version deals more damage than normal, 1,700. The H version also deals more damage than normal, and the final hit will actually go into a small ground bounce afterwards. Okay, folks, I think we're making good progress here. One of the last of his specials, or not really the last of his specials, because this one special is more like 5 specials in one. And that is his flight moves, or his 2-2-X buttons here. All of these now go about the same height, because I used the original unused versions for this series of attacks. So they don't have variable height, they all go about the same height in the air.
Pay attention.
2-2-L is faster and has invincibility while he's rising. 2-2-M has a hitbox like the old boss version's 2-2-H version, which does that and pulls them upwards in the air, which allows you to do, not that, but you can do a combo into the M follow-up. 2-2-H has a hitbox from the boss version still, and deals more damage. 500 instead of 300. Is faster but not as fast as the L version, and carries the opponent much higher, even higher on counter hits, which lets you do stupid shit like this. And if you thought the grab couldn't get any worse, I have some bad news for you because there are a lot of other buffs I gave to this move too. For starters, it now has reduced recovery on whiff and on hit. Making it safer to whiff, and on hit, you get time to chase your opponent down. In the corner, this will now wall bounce for very easy juggles. Or, if you're feeling daring, you can even follow up mid-screen. Aw, damn combo limit. In addition to all of that, the combo skilling has been overall reduced, and it always does more damage than the normal Avatar Belial's medium flight H version, which does 2,500. Well, this one will always do 3,000. And as if it couldn't get any worse, the trajectory has also been altered while he's flying towards you to be more aggressive and quicker to land on the ground. And when you successfully land the grab on the second hit of the attack, Belial will heal himself for 2,500 health, or that's 10% of his max HP, more specifically. This is, yeah. Last but not least, for the flight follow-ups, we have the U follow-up, which is the air laser. This is now faster to fire said laser. The charged version is a sweeping unblockable, must be sidestepped or dodged. And this is now usable by itself as a normal air special as well, with J236U. In addition to this, he has two versions of the air laser now, actually, with the other one being usable as J214U, which is the version the older Avatar Belial uses, the unused one as well as the version that you fight in RPG mode. This version is fired at a steeper angle that is closer to him to catch people that are not as far away. And if you want to do that off a flight, you can. By just doing the 2-on-4 command. Oh. Well, conveniently enough, we were getting that move anyways. So, this is a new move I gave him, or pseudo-new, because this is actually something he can do in RPG mode, and his boss can do in RPG mode. This is 2-2-U, and this is a teleport. It will teleport directly behind the enemy no matter where Belial is. And I have sped this teleport up to be about 33% faster than the actual RPG boss version. And this move actually has its own set of follow-ups he can do, similar to his Wings Bestowed special. Although, these follow-ups from the teleport will indeed use cooldowns, just as a note, which doesn't mean too much, but, you know, bigger. So, the L follow-up to the teleport will have him do basically his same L Wings Bestowed follow-up, except it will track the enemy horizontally. This is essentially the same as his 8U teleport follow-up, albeit with a very high ground bounce for a full combo. And it will use the Flight 2-2-H cooldown for this. 2-2-U-M will have him teleport for the opponent and do a faster J2-1-4-M, which you can confirm into a full rank chain, and can follow up as normal. This will use his C-Claw cooldown. 2-2-U-M will have him teleport away and do a multi-hit version of his 5U beam attack that is faster than the RPG mode version. Use a C-Rocks cooldown, and this laser will also hit 3 times. And that's pretty much it, because you can't really have a U follow-up for this for the most part, except for, you know, teleport spam. Alright, there's one more thing we have to go over, which is another new attack that I made on my own, more or less, that we have to go over before we go into his supers to close things out here. Good lord, I can only imagine this video is a reasonable amount of time. So, This move is 632146H, and this is essentially a grounded version of his C-Flight grab that is very reminiscent of regular Belial's Asmodeus attack, as he will do the second half of his 214X Claw Rekka. It's a little finicky to actually come out, but shit. The attack is indeed a command grab, however, just like the flight version, and more or less serves, yeah, it's basically a grounded version of this move right here. And a replacement for normal Belial, Visago, and Asmodeus. Alright. At long last, our finale, which is his supers. And I will say straight up, that while you are probably familiar with Diaphora here, and Wild Sin, I will say those are not his only two supers. In fact, Super Boss Avatar Belial here has not 2, not 3, but 5 different supers. And we're gonna go over each of them. But might as well start with the ones we're all familiar with and love so much, because I really do love Avatar Belial's new supers here. For starters on these new supers of sorts, his regular Skybound arts, so Diaphora and another we'll go over, these now, as you will see, only cost 50% of the Skybound art gauge. Although Super Skybound arts like Wild Sin will still cost 100, this means you can now use 2 of these before you're on the meter. Speaking of Diaphora in particular, this will now deal more damage, similar to how Beelzebub, the same amount of damage that Boss Beelzebub's Black Spears do. Although a little more than that, actually. There can see about 5,050 damage, which is a lot higher than what it usually would do. Especially given they kind of nuked this move and made it weaker than most other Skybound arts, which is stupid. So this deals more damage, this hits overhead now, and is also air unblockable. And has another change we'll go to, which involves the next Skybound art. Yeah, actually, the next Skybound art. Might as well just go into now the other one. The other Skybound art is something familiar. As for what I did to his Super Skybound art, Wild Sin, this will now deal way more damage, is way faster to grab, and is air unblockable on both parts of the move, meaning you can't do, yeah, that wave, you can't jump over that. You gotta dodge like the wind there. As for how much damage it does now, well, let you see for yourselves.
Liked you.
7,600. No comment. And now that we've gone through his normal supers, how about we go on through new ones? You're probably wondering what those are. Well, if you'll recall, in RPG mode, Avatar Belial still uses the same supers that normal Belial does. With that in mind, I gave those back to him. Returning as 214-214H in its grand reappearance as Legamaton, regular Belial's old Skybound art. At least I hope that's how you pronounce that attack name. And although this plays a Japanese voice line for some reason, it's been really finicky for some reason. When I last played him, it would do this in English, like when I fought him, but I really don't know the cause for that. Maybe if I restarted, probably play the correct English voice line, because I have my voice set to English, obviously, but okay, I'm getting off track here. So, Legamaton here, now functions as a mix of the regular version and the version of Avatar's RPG boss version. He will perform the initial strike before rushing forward, but he will keep going until he reaches the corner. Tacking on hits all the while, before going into the finisher. For increased damage of 5,600. I will say, obviously you gotta block both ways there, because you will come around for another fucking pass. And, funny thing is that you can actually cancel if you want with 100 meter. You can actually do this neat little combination of Diaphora.
Someone needs to be punished.
into Legabaton! Double Skybound Art combos! Broken as all hell, but you can't deny they look pretty fucking badass. And I think he deserved them more than anyone. And of course, because I brought back the old Skybound art, I brought back the old Super Skybound art. The return of Onogenesis as 214214U. This version of Onogenesis will now teleport behind the opponent before executing. God, I wish the voices worked fucking properly. It really kills my mood. You know what, fuck it. I'm trying to restart the English voices. Hold on. I can't do this. Okay. Woo! There we go. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want. Alright. Okay, yeah, restarting it fixed it. For some, I don't know why that little voice bug happens, but it just does. But I'm glad I fixed it. Alright. Onogenesis teleports behind the opponent before doing the full move, and if the opponent is actually in hit stun, he will teleport faster to make sure they can connect for combos. Although this is also a Super Skybound art, it seems it is a little easier to land technically because the teleport jump than Wild Sin, so it does a little less damage than Wild Sin, but
You're getting on my nerve.
you'll see it still hits pretty hard. 6,800 damage. I will also note that both kicks are air unblockable and will guard crotch as well, meaning
You're getting on my nerve.
blocking will still get you hit, although you won't get launched for the full move, I guess, but you'll still eat shit for it. Ah, beautiful. Hold on. I gotta do a double fucking super again with English dub now.
The final chapter. So our creator will perish.
Glorious. Alright. That is 4 out of 5 supers. Now you're probably wondering, what the fuck could the 5th one be? Well, that's an interesting question, and for it, I have an interesting answer. Our final super uses the command of 632146U and serves as a third Super Skybound art. What could it be? Well, it's ported straight from the RPG boss version, and it is his desperation move from that fight, which I will merely show right now for explaining. As you can see, it's pretty gimmicky, and that's kind of the point of it, really. I could not put it in, though. So to basically elaborate on what it does, this is indeed his desperation attack, like I said, from the RPG mode boss fight that he performs when he's on low health. Belial will teleport around 5 times, doing a random attack each time until he cycles through each of them. The attacks include a JU sort of dive kick, his 236M, his 5U laser, his air laser, and his Rekka finisher. After those 5 moves, he will transfer into Legabaton from off-screen, and then finally end with a teleport on a Genesis. The attack has been verified in a lot of various ways to be faster all around the RPG version, however, so that's more likely to clip you, and overall more dangerous, as well as the potential for certain attacks to chain together being a lot larger, so you can actually string a miniature combo together with these randomized special chains he does. Like so. Oh, that was slick. If I had a better way to make all of the moves chain together in one seamless combo if you got clipped by any of them, I would have done that. But, yeah, this is mainly just a troll move if you're fighting against a friend of yours or something, because they're probably not going to know how to deal with it. All of those moves have a various amount of unique properties, I will say. Like, the, air laser is unblockable, and it's the sweeping version. So, yeah, go nuts with this, honestly. And, yeah, I think finally, with all of that explained, we are done with this, impromptu showcase and release video. Thank God, because I'm getting hella nervous for how, progressively much more awkward this is getting as I go. In any case, I hope you guys really like what you see. I hope to eventually come back to Granblue, and maybe one day when I do get better, like I do with my older blazblue mods, I'll come back here and give Belial a neat little tune-up, depending on feedback I get from you guys, other stuff I think of, all that good stuff. So, hopefully you all enjoy. Hopefully you all love playing as or against him as a neat little spice of life add up to your Granblue Fantasy Versus experience. I have an unexpectedly high love for this game, despite a lot of things. I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought. Oh, I almost forgot. It's at the end of the video, and I should have just said really early on, but very, very, very huge thanks to I Am Me for being the person to get me into Granblue essentially in the first place, and for providing all the instructions needed to play as the old Avatar Belial in the first place, which inspired me to pick up the game myself and start making mods for it, like this one you see here. Hopefully there'll be more to come in the future, but in any case, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you love boss form Avatar Belial here. Once again, the download link for him will be in the description, along with instructions on how to use him. Luckily, it's pretty simple. And hope to catch you all in all future uploads. And I'll see you later.
I've had enough. Time for the climax. Sweet dreams.